I think I'll start with open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. And then at the end, maybe throw in, praise be to Allah.
Today, the United States held peace negotiations with Iran. But then just an hour ago, President Trump posted, if Iran doesn't agree to peace, the greatest military of all time, ours, will F Iran right up their Strait of Hormuz. Assalamu alaikum, Ukraine.
It began like any ordinary comedy segment, but quickly transformed into a televised roast so sharp it felt capable of cutting through even the most polished speech. One moment, it was lighthearted sketches, and the next, it seemed like the writers had unlocked a hidden level of boldness no one saw coming. The impressions were almost too accurate, the timing felt intentional, and the jokes hit with a mischievous precision, as if they had been building up all week. This was not just comedy. It felt like calculated payback wrapped in entertainment.
You'll remember, but I flipped my car and got a DUI.
Oh, right, a Dewey. As in, do we drive on pills? Yes, he do.
That's a good one, Mr. President.
You should have told the cops we were friends. They would have let you off.
Well, I did, and they didn't.
If only there was...
In his speech, President Trump referred to the war in Iran as a little journey, because little journeys are all anyone can afford to take now.
If you're enjoying this, consider subscribing. It genuinely makes a difference. The Oval Office, in this portrayal, looked less like the epicenter of global leadership and more like a chaotic late-night hotline, where every call somehow spiraled into confusion, stamped with an official seal. The phones kept ringing, confidence never wavered, but logic seemed to have quietly stepped out of the room.
Don't worry about that, Caroline. Like I said to Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem right before I fired them, you're doing a terrific job.
Thank you, sir. I love you too.
All three of those were played by Ashley. It's an interesting detail.
Amid the chaos, Colin Jost and Michael Che cut through the entire scene like two people who realized the script had already gone off the rails and decided to push it even further into absurdity.
President Trump did genuinely issue a post threatening to destroy Iran's entire civilization and then ended with the phrase, praise be to Allah. And I know that almost makes Trump sound like he is a radical terrorist, but remember, Trump has already been to a paradise with 72 virgins.
President Trump said in his speech that the Strait of Hormuz would open up naturally, but if it doesn't, the Marines will deploy a little bit of spit.
It all kicked off with a conversation that felt less like strategy and more like brainstorming the most questionable post imaginable. The president paced around, tossing out ideas that sounded less like a communication plan and more like an experiment in how many reactions could be triggered in a single sentence.
There are a lot of important things happening in the world right now, and I have to make some urgent phone calls.
Hello?
Tiger, it's Donald. What's going on, buddy? Are you playing in the Masters this weekend?
The press secretary stood by, absorbing it all with that familiar nod people use when they cannot quite decide if they are witnessing brilliance or a slow unraveling. Discussions about tone surfaced, but the tone itself swung wildly between aggressive certainty and oddly placed sarcasm, especially when touching on religion. Subtlety clearly had no place here. Jost leaned into the moment, unpacking how the praise directed at the press secretary carried a sharp, backhanded edge, especially when paired with casual references to replacing predecessors like outdated gadgets. The joke did more than land, it settled in and made itself comfortable.
You think I should type praise be to Allah, and that's from you, the President of the United States?
Yes, Allah. They say Allah. It's a sarcastic attack on the world's largest religion. They famously have a great sense of humor about that kind of stuff.
As your press secretary, this puts me in a tough position.
Then came a call from Melania, raising the stakes in a way that felt both strange and oddly specific. She wanted to issue a statement, not in response to anything, but simply to deny involvement in matters no one had even mentioned. The randomness lingered like an unspoken punchline. Jost broke it down with precision, noting how unprompted denials tend to create suspicion rather than clarity. The humor didn't rely on exaggeration. It came directly from the bizarre nature of the situation. As the Oval Office phone kept delivering unexpected turns, the next twist arrived as a military briefing that felt even less structured than everything before it.
President Trump posted plans for his presidential library in Miami, which would be a massive golden skyscraper with a golden escalator and a golden statue of Trump, as predicted in the book of Revelations. President Trump attended the opening night of Chicago at the Kennedy Center, and I think
The discussion about Iran unfolded with confidence replacing clarity, touching on military action, the potential return of the draft, and a negotiation approach that sounded pieced together from unrelated ideas. It felt like a strategy meeting that had drifted into improvisation. Jost pointed out the irony of sending someone to negotiate only for the outcome to seemingly encourage the opposite result. By the time the president stepped up to the podium, the atmosphere was already set for something unusual. The questions began, and the answers followed a pattern that felt increasingly detached from reality.
Oh, wait, who's this? I don't recognize the number. Hello?
Hello, Donald.
Melania, you're calling me? That's not a good sign.
Listen, I decided I should do a big, random speech completely out of nowhere and say, I am not Epstein.
First Lady Melania Trump has unveiled the theme of this year's White House Christmas decorations: jackhammers.
The repeated claim of barely knowing Epstein clashed sharply with widely seen evidence, creating tension that practically invited comedy. Jost treated it like a puzzle that refused to align, while Che approached it as a lesson in selective memory. The humor emerged naturally from the contradictions themselves. Each response added another layer to an already unbelievable narrative. Then came an unexpected shift, the suggestion that multiple timelines could explain inconsistencies, turning the entire exchange into something resembling a science fiction pitch rather than a press briefing.
President Trump said he will reassign Kristi Noem to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, which is a brand new department located on a farm upstate. The CIA is reportedly working to arm local militias in Iran with the hopes that they will lead an uprising.
Without hesitation, Che embraced the multiverse idea, exploring it as if logic had completely exited the room. He joked that perhaps in another version of events, everything made sense, just not this one. At the same time, he grounded the moment by pointing out that alternate realities are a convenient escape from dealing with the present. Then came the announcement about the Epstein files, adding another surreal layer. Turning their release into something monetized transformed a serious topic into what felt like a product launch. Jost framed it as a pay-per-view spectacle, while Che compared it to an unwanted subscription service. The humor came from recognizing how even serious matters could be repackaged as marketing.
What? Pete, it's President Trump. What's up? What's up? Remember that in the 90s?
Sorry, Mr. President, I didn't know it was you. It just said unknown caller. So I figured I'd just answer and say a couple military secrets.
That's wonderful. That's great. So what's the latest on that whole...
Just when it seemed the sketch had reached its peak, a final twist arrived in the form of a pardon that outdid everything before it. The turkey, usually part of a lighthearted tradition, suddenly carried a backstory that shifted the tone into darker comedic territory. Jost treated it as a reveal that forced a complete reassessment of what the audience had been watching, while Che highlighted the absurdity of closing such chaos with a cheerful holiday note. They didn't exaggerate, they simply presented it clearly enough for its strangeness to stand out. The result felt less like a scripted act and more like a guided journey through events that refuse to resemble normality.
Trump said that he should be involved in choosing Iran's next supreme leader. So congrats to new supreme leader Ayatollah Jared Kushner. Trump announced that he will attend the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which will be hosted by famous mind reader Oz Perlman. Big deal. Even I can read Trump's mind.
What stood out most was how seamlessly everything flowed, each moment building on the last and raising the stakes while keeping the audience engaged. By the end, it was clear this was more than comedy. It was a reflection of a reality so unpredictable that laughter became the only way to process it. And once it started, stopping didn't seem like an option. Even after the final twist, the momentum continued, as if escalation was inevitable. Che leaned further into the chaos, not by forcing bigger jokes, but by letting the absurdity unfold on its own. It felt like watching a system running on its own energy, impossible to shut down. While conversations carried the weight of authority, but sounded like casual group chats gone too far.
Well, rest assured, sir, Iran is as obliterated as me every Saturday night, allegedly. We've destroyed everything. We wet their willies, tapped their sacks, and purpled every single nurple. You also probably heard that I want to start a draft again, which is a great sign for the ceasefire.
Jost highlighted the contrast. The setting was built for historic decisions, yet it kept producing moments better suited for late-night humor. Che added that even the furniture deserved an apology for everything it had witnessed, turning the environment into a silent observer of the chaos. As callbacks wove through the narrative, earlier phone conversations echoed back, making the entire sequence feel tightly connected. Che pointed out that when everything gets louder, substance begins to fade, leaving only spectacle behind. That observation tied the entire sequence together, linking the initial brainstorming to everything that followed.
A rash has appeared on President Trump's neck, which is just above his collar. Apparently, someone accidentally washed his shirt in holy water. That a smoothie king in Michigan were reportedly fired after refusing to serve a smoothie to a man who was wearing a President Trump hoodie, which is crazy. I mean, what happened to being civil and just serving a smoothie with spit in it?
The Tiger Woods call resurfaced, not as a random moment, but as part of a broader pattern of misplaced priorities. Che leaned into the idea that the line between personal and professional had blurred so much that even serious responsibilities could shift into casual territory without warning. He expanded on this by suggesting that unpredictability had become the only consistent element, turning everything into an ongoing experiment. Adding a layer of dry humor, he implied that staying silent might actually be the safest choice, though clearly no one would take it. The joke worked because it highlighted how rare restraint had become.
Hey, so I had a couple road sodas. Chill.
Pete Hegseth, as I live and struggle to breathe.
It's great to see you, Mr. President. Before I begin, I just want to thank you sincerely for these beautiful size 16 Florsheim shoes.
The military briefing, with its scattered logic and confident delivery, became a focal point in the latter half. Jost approached it like a case study in simplifying complex issues into statements that sounded decisive but lacked coherence. He pushed further, noting that when negotiations lead to the opposite outcome, it may be time to rethink what success actually means. The humor came from the gap between intention and result. Jost examined the repetition with curiosity, while Che treated it as a lesson in confidence, where repetition itself becomes evidence, regardless of reality.
Officials in Minnesota have sued the Trump administration, claiming that their large-scale ICE actions are an unconstitutional federal invasion, while the Trump administration claims that, yep.
The multiverse concept gained momentum, evolving from a surprising twist into a central theme. Che grounded it by pointing out that while the idea might sound appealing, it does nothing to address the present reality. Their back and forth kept the audience engaged while reinforcing the absurdity. Che added that presenting low-quality evidence as something premium felt like the perfect metaphor for style outweighing substance. The humor resonated because it reflected a broader pattern, making the joke feel both specific and widely relatable.
Wondering why I was in the back seat of this random family's car. I'll tell you the same thing I say when people ask about our plans for Iran. I don't know.
Isn't that wonderful? Well, I'm going to wander around.
It's great. Thank you for everything, sir.
Even the turkey pardon, which initially seemed like a standalone moment, revealed deeper meaning upon revisiting. Jost used it to show how traditions can be reshaped in ways that completely alter their tone. The contrast between its cheerful framing and darker implications created a lingering tension. They didn't need to invent outrageous scenarios. The material already carried enough unpredictability. By highlighting contradictions rather than exaggerating them, the humor felt natural and authentic.
During a visit to the White House, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado presented Trump with her Nobel Peace Prize. What kind of psycho would actually accept someone else's Nobel Peace Prize? She just won it. It's like if someone says, help yourself to anything in the kitchen, and you bang his wife.
Pacing played a key role, with each segment flowing smoothly into the next. Che's structured delivery created continuity, while his sharper, unexpected remarks kept the energy dynamic. Together, they formed a rhythm that mirrored the chaos itself, making it feel cohesive without smoothing over its rough edges. Che added that comedians in this context aren't just creating jokes, they're translating events into something people can process. That perspective added depth, reminding viewers that beneath the humor, there was a reflection of reality.
Called me here today to give you news on the war, okay? So listen up. The news is we won. Hashtag winning. So you can stop asking me all about it, okay? Don't even worry about it. Forget about it.
Jost emphasized how every element contributed to a picture that was chaotic yet consistently unpredictable. Che reinforced this by pointing out that confidence was the only thing holding it all together, acting as the glue preventing everything from collapsing. He used that moment to deliver a final layer of commentary, tying together themes of contradiction, performance, and unpredictability in a way that felt both complete and open-ended.
Experts say that Machado gave Trump her Nobel Peace Prize in the hopes of getting his help to become the next leader of Venezuela. And if that bribe actually works, I bet Trump's about to get a whole bunch of Grammys.
Real problem is all you gaybies, gay babies, copyright, all you gaybies in the media are completely unpatriotic, okay? They're using what I do and say to make me look like a fool.
Been there. I've been there before, partner.
Yeah, we've all been there.
In the end, the segment did more than entertain. It captured a moment with clarity that only comedy can provide. Colin Jost and Michael Che didn't just tell jokes, they created a lens through which the audience could understand events that might otherwise feel impossible to process. Their ability to navigate complexity while maintaining an engaging tone kept viewers invested throughout. The humor stayed with the audience, not just because it was funny, but because it revealed something deeper. Ultimately, the segment worked not only as comedy, but as a reflection of a reality where the line between absurdity and truth continues to blur, leaving just enough room for whatever comes next.